Hype.
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 There we go.
Hype.
Get that Monday night energy going.
Hype.
Get that Monday night energy going.
Hype.
So last time, you all worked your way through the test of temperament, a classic test offered by the ancient Fae to see how potential visitors might act when violence is not an answer to their problems. You all tore through it rather quickly, finding your way around the twisting bamboo forest and the mists, solving the puzzles, and eventually gaining the right to access Foxhome. During your journeys in the bamboo forest, you were joined by a new kitsune, this one calling himself Renard. He offered cryptic clues and help to help get you through the forest and safely into Foxhome. Once you arrived in Foxhome, Kiatan offered you moon pearls. They protect against heavily arcane-influenced areas like this one, allowing you to retain your natural form as long as you are within them. Grateful to be back in your normal form, you had a small chance to poke around the village. You met a couple of young kitsune, one by the name of Kama and one by the name of Yume. Ral got to know them a little bit more intimately, as Kiatan had some choice words to say towards the passenger he's carrying in his head. Things were tense for a moment, but after a confrontation with Lania, Kiatan decided not to blow your head off for now, Ral. And let's see, what else happened? Inuko, you had a sit-down with the young Tanaka boy. You discussed the influence his father might have on him being here and what he might think. And truth be told, the vibe you got from him was that he didn't even really know why he was here. He didn't necessarily want to be, but it wasn't like he was pining to get back to his father either. All in all, he just seems kind of lost at the moment. Kiatan also had a little discussion with Korgath, but Korgath seemed a bit preoccupied with his thoughts at the time. So, that brings us to Foxhome, where it was a veritable party. I believe when we last left off, I had pretty much every token in the game sitting up here. So yeah, so I don't remember exactly where in Foxhome you guys wandered off to. So I'll just give a brief description of what's around. There is the smithy. There is what looks to be a general supply store / warehouse. You're not sure if the Kitsune even have a concept of currency in stores. There are a lot of little residences, some built into trees, some freestanding structures. You see a lot of animalistic shrines, and you see a reflecting pool off in the distance, surrounded by bamboo. It seems to have a bit of reverence to it.
Yeah.
So that is what is immediately obvious, but there could be more around.
I know that I probably just invented the Katsudon in the tavern.
That's right. So Z, you went in search of a tavern, and to your delight, you found one.
It was very old though and dusty.
It was very old and dusty. sort of like it was built up for visitors that never came. Um, Kama is kind of fiddling around with you in here. Um, and Katsudon. See what that is.
It's delicious, is what it is.
It is.
Deep fried pork cutlet. All right. Yes.
It's a cutlet cover top. It's got rice underneath. Sometimes it's got egg underneath. But it is delicious. And basically, he took a schnitzel and just put it on a rice bowl because that's what they had. And
well, Kama is all about her some Katsudon at this very moment.
I believe Ral had followed Z to the end, but realizing how small the door was, had
It's
turned
true.
around.
Z did shrink himself to fit in here. He's Kitsune size now.
Yes. So that is posing to be a little bit of a problem for the taller races. Everything around here is a bit smaller in scale.
There's going to be a bunch of half-orc shaped holes in the sides of buildings when we leave here.
Why do they build them out of paper?
Oh yeah!
It's like Homer in Japan just keeps walking through the wall.
Kool-Aid man.
Well, assuming no one is going to catch him on his way there, Ral is going to wander his way over to the blacksmith.
Okay.
I'm just looking for Rail. I'm not stopping him. I'm just looking for him.
So you spot Ral going to kind of an open-air lean-to, not a full-on building like Masamune's smithy back in Route 10. Upon going up to this open-air lean-to, Yume kind of follows you in. He kind of looks uncomfortable around you, but he does.
Ral is just kind of forcibly holding eye contact the whole time he's on his way to wherever he's.
Yes, this is the Smith. Look, I'm sorry for almost Eldritch blasting your face off. All right.
I mean, I have the means of protecting myself. You have right to be suspicious, though. You should really consider more what you are dealing with before you just start blasting.
So anyway, I started blasting.
There it is.
I love you guys.
Right. I'm sorry. I'm glad it's behind us. Anyway, this doesn't see too much use. Usually it's the Inari are the only ones who wield metal weapons. Still, we do make specialized weapons for them. And I've been training as an apprentice. Just one of the many things I train in. We kind of have a free-flowing specialization set up here.
I imagine living very long lives, you will tend to jump from profession to profession whenever one gets bored with the other.
Well, yeah, that's exactly right, actually. His eyes kind of widen. So, that being said, I could fire these up and help you out with any smithing needs you might need.
Well, I have several that I believe you could accommodate me with. First, I require some reinforcement done specifically to my weapon.
All right. What kind
Just
of reinforcement?
some basic orichalcum reinforcement.
Ah. All right. That can be done.
Wait, actually, no, sorry, titanite reinforcement.
Oh, even easier. Fair enough.
So, a full +1 is.
It is 8 Titanite in total for a full +1.
2,400.
Correct.
Do not have enough for that.
You need some money from Z?
Uh,
How much do you have?
I have 2,021, but I'm wanting to do other things. So
I got about
think we'll
3k on
just
me, I think.
nix on that for the moment.
What are you up to there, Big Row?
Attempting to reinforce this weapon and then acquire some other materials, but I'm finding myself a little short on coin.
What?
Suddenly becoming a master of magic is rather expensive, it seems.
You needed, what, 2,400 gold, you said?
2,400 gold. I need 400 to cover that, and then 50. Or no. It's 50 per level, right?
I give
for
him
the,
24.
For the
Spell.
spells, yeah, it is 50 gold per level of spell.
I give him 2,400 gold.
Nice.
Raoul's just kind of mind-boggling. Well, yes,
Oh,
unnix that nix, and Raoul gently removes. And now that he's removing the sword, this is the first time anyone else has gotten to see it. So, Korgath, you get to see this beautiful gold and jade inlaid Jian as he sets it down in front of Yume.
Huh.
that's pretty snazzy.
Masamune made it.
6% interest.
I can tell it's Masamune's work, Yume says. It's a fine weapon, but the engraving gives you no tactical advantage.
A simple reminder of places I am from.
Compounding monthly.
Korgas.
Okay, Ralph, you would just sign this contract right here real quick? No, I'm just playing. But for real, I'd like to talk to you after a while.
Certainly. I simply, with the general-ish store over there, sell paper and ink for magical needs.
Yes.
Wonderful.
And as for your weapon here, he holds it one finger out, and the blade kind of balances perfectly on the finger. It's a very nice weapon. Kind of flips it back over, and it lands on a very weirdly shaped anvil. And he gathers up the Titanite.
A little,
He says, "This
a little
won't take
small,
long."
a little tiny for my liking, but it looks like a decent. By the way, both my weapons are invisible on my back at the moment.
That's true. Even the big
I mean,
ass.
my boomstick is invisible on my back.
Oh, you said you wanted to go to the general store?
Yes, we can walk and talk on our way. Oh, and Yume,
Yes.
could you prepare approximately 156 pounds of scrap material, iron, copper wiring, and any small bits of gold you can provide?
Yume's eyes narrow. 156 pounds?
Specifically of iron, the copper wiring and gold need to be in lesser amount. Somewhere on the side of 80 pounds copper wiring and under 10 pounds of gold.
Kama is walking by and she's chewing on the Katsudon. She just kind of shrugs. Hey, they say we're the weird ones out here. She keeps on walking.
It will be very useful in assisting me to clear out the stone tower.
Right, Yume says, well, I'll see what I can do. It might take me a bit to gather that much, but Master Kiyotan wants you to clear out that tower, and I should do everything I can to help.
Take your time. I do not need it until tomorrow. I won't be preparing the project until we are already there. Though, given a proper time frame, I may return and show you the fruit of your efforts.
Alright, fine. Well, I will get to gathering then.
So, Mr. Korgath, Ral says as he begins to turn around and walk out.
Oh yeah, need your help with something.
I assumed so. You don't tend to converse with me often, so
I don't converse with many people.
likewise.
I need you to help me remember.
Remember what and
Childhood?
how?
I don't know. You dig around in people's minds.
Ral kind of scratches his chin for a moment. I suppose I could do so.
Mainly mother. My mother.
And I do have spells prepared. You see Ral dig into his kimono and pull out his spell book as he's slowly flipping through the page. I do have spells prepared that could help me pierce the veil, although I don't know how well I'd be able to dig into memories repressed or otherwise.
I figured you had as good a shot as anybody.
More than likely, but it could be a stretch, is what I'm saying.
What happened? I mean, any bad, negative side effects?
You could remember things you don't want to remember, or that
You
mind
might see
wants
some
to.
shit you don't want to see.
Ral kind of thinks back to what Linnea told him of his own mind. I believe we have both seen some things that no one wants to see.
Kind of like rubbing one palm with the other thumb, like, well, I mean, I'm game if you are. See what you can do with these new powers.
I suppose we definitely could. Let us finish our goings on for the day, and perhaps this evening, before we decide to lay down for the night.
Okay.
So when you get to the store-like building, it too seems vastly underutilized. Kept more as a warehouse of goods than anything. This too is almost open air, kind of a big open area for you to walk into, and another kitsune man kind of wanders up, steps behind the counter. He only came up when he saw you approaching it, and he raises his eyebrows. Welcome to Kitsune Village. My name is Deku.
Nice to meet you. I am Rolorian. I've come to acquire parchment and ink for spellcasting needs.
We got plenty of that in the back. I heard you all use this thing called money, right, for that?
Typically.
Good, because I'm sure you don't want to indebt yourself to the Kitsune for labor.
No. I already once indented myself into some sort of servitude to one of you, and I am quite thankful that that one will no longer be joining us.
Yeah, you must be talking about Naomi. Yeah, she told me about that. Hey, you know, she is getting a new tail tonight. Don't tell her I told you. But there's going to be a big ceremony and everything.
For a moment, Raoul's eyes go a little wicked and a smile starts to... And then his face goes back to being completely emotionless.
How very
Oh,
interesting.
Anyway, that is wonderful news for her.
Right, so, spellbook parchment and magic ink. We have plenty of that. There's some unique stuff we keep around also that might interest you, especially since I've caught wind of your, upcoming journey into the Stone Towers. Can I interest you in a patented Deku stick?
What are... Could you show me its features?
Sure. Alright, so this stick, this is my special kind of stick. You see, he brings up a long, about 5-foot long stick that is perfectly straight, and there aren't any little twigs coming off of it or knobby bits or anything. Just a refined, straight stick. He says, alright, so get this. If that thing 5 feet over there, you want to get that, but you don't want to walk over to it, you just do this little number here. And he picks up the stick and he kind of starts pulling up some of the parchment over to himself. Bam, like that. See? Here's a torch. It's unlit. You want it to be lit? You just light this stick on fire like this. See? He fires off a firebolt onto the stick and lights the end, and just holds it out and lights the torch up. See, isn't that great? They're awesome. They're only a gold apiece
Raoul
too.
uses prestidigitation to put the stick out before he lights the torch.
Right. Well, usually they stay lit. It didn't this time, but that's just, you know, demo bad luck. I'm sure that when you do it, it'll be just fine. He holds the extinguished end of the stick up and inspects it closely, a look of betrayal upon his face. How could you?
I believe this is an interesting product, though not for a practitioner of the arcane such as myself.
All right.
Mr. Korgath may be interested.
Yes, you sir.
No.
Stick? No. Okay. Well, one of these days, old Deku's gonna be out there on the mainland, and I want to have something unique to show all those humans.
No. I know most of you serve and gain powers through Kiaton, but is there anyone here who would have knowledge of the arcane out from the outside?
Kama did a bit of time on one of her scouting missions. She was in one of the universities out to the west. She stuck around there a lot, and she might have picked something up.
I sent you a message. Wonderful. Where would she be located?
I'm pretty sure you'll just kind of bump into her. She likes to wander around a lot. Oh, hey, Kama. And she's finishing up her Katsudon. She's just kind of staring at you guys from the outside.
I'm also there with Katsudon. You know, this really goes well with the rice. Like I wasn't expecting it to be this
I
good.
imagine this kitsune walking up, and then just Z, kind of a tubbier kitsune.
Yes.
I might have eaten a few too many bowls. I'll work it off in an hour. It's fine.
Kama is like all giddy. Oh, I knew I could trust you the moment you said you liked to eat and walk at the same time. We're gonna be best of friends.
Absolutely. I've never been so sure of something in my life.
Did you guys find anything interesting?
We did. Your friend here has a wonderful product that he showed us, though
Oh, the
we
stupid
are
stick.
not going to be. Yes, the stupid.
Hold on,
stick.
wait. He's got a stick. I want to see.
Ah, you, sir. Deku just launches into the diatribe again. You see this here? This is a perfect specimen of a stick. The
Holy shit, that's a really nice stick.
By
Z
the
is
way-
enamored.
By the way, guys, the Chapter 2 shop list has been updated. I see some of you on there now,
Yeah.
but there is a Fox Homes unique tab.
Ew.
I will absolutely buy. How many sticks do you have, sir?
I have made 10 of these beauties. I'm going to disseminate them all across the world.
No, you're not. Because I'm buying them all right now.
You see his eyes light up. Perfect! You'll be perfect! You'll be back out on the mainland before I am, and you can be the one to show the world the Deku stick.
As he grabs like 2 sticks, he sprouts another 2 arms and grabs another 2 sticks, then another 2 arms and another 2 sticks, until he has about 10 arms all wielding sticks. He runs off.
He's Stitch.
And he starts. You hear the brief tacking sound of sticks hitting things.
The sound of sticks fade off into the distance as Z runs off. Kama is distracted by that display, but returns her attention back to Ral. Right. Well, I like your friend.
They are an interesting bunch. All of them have their likable qualities.
Was there something you wanted from me?
I did. Your friend informed me that you had studied magic abroad.
Not so much studied as sat in the classroom invisible.
I mean, there are many ways of studying.
Right. Well, let me tell you, those mainlanders have a lot of things right and a lot of things wrong.
Well, you see, most of that is probably due to misinformation, misunderstanding, and the fact that the ancient Fae have all disappeared.
Yeah, a lot of that is some bad blood and bad history. But Master Kiaton, he's more willing to talk about those kinds of things.
Though I do enjoy the scientific nature that we have applied to the arcane. It makes for a much more understandable quantification of magic.
Roll insight for me, Rel.
No.
Yep, she looks very interested in your take on magic.
Ral nods his head. Anyway, before I prattle on about the primary theorem, I have need of a spell, specifically one of the more powerful end of current wizards. The ability to muddle in one's memory. I've heard of it before and seen it used, although I myself have not acquired it yet.
Yeah, that was one of those that kind of got taught outside the classroom. The university I was at, it was in, what was that place? Uses all sorts of bread for their food. All their food is bread. Ravioli, bavol, that's the one. Yes. They had some qualms about using magic for that kind of thing, but naturally there was interest in it. So I just checked out what they had glommed onto, and yeah, looks like they figured out how to mess with memories.
Wonderful. Do you have a written record of it that I could look over for a moment?
She twitches her tails a little bit, and then nods. Yes, but back at my homestead, I'll have to grab the book and bring it to you some other time.
Wonderful. If I could have it before the end of tonight.
Sure, I'll get it to you before we, I'll go to the big ceremony. Oh, I should not have said that.
I was already informed of something already happening tonight.
Oh, right. She shoots a look at Deku. Okay. Well, I will get it to you before then. But, whenever we have a ceremony like this, all the Kitsune in the village come together.
Wonderful. And, you kitsunes like tricks and pranks, correct?
That's kind of our lifeblood.
Ral just kind of gets that wicked smile for a half second again before his face goes completely plastic. Excellent.
Right then, I'll go hunt for that book. All right. So Z, you're running off with 10 sticks, bapping them on stuff.
Okay, as I've perceivably papped half the village with sticks, I stop mid-step and I think, wait a minute, there's probably a blacksmith in this village. They probably have magic. I could have 10 magic sticks. I just fucking turn around and go for the blacksmith. I honestly had something else to do first, because I was just running around hitting things with sticks.
Well, in your
Not
running
hard, just pat, pat, pat.
in your running around, you see a Machida. And
Uh-oh.
he's sort of just seated by himself on a rock, and he seems to be staring at something.
8 sticks hit the ground.
I'm a discreetly kind of sidestep so he doesn't see me, go like behind a building. I'm gonna put the sticks in my bag, and then I'm gonna grow to regular size and make myself look like a people man. And then I'll walk out behind and walk up to Machida.
He seems to notice you coming, but you know he has his usual muted reaction. He is watching a snail, kind of crawling its way across a bamboo leaf. But he holds his hand up to you, Z. He's like, "Watch what it does next."
Fucking watch.
You see the snail hop up off the leaf and just kind of gain 2 little celestial wings and flutter over to the next leaf before it just kind of flops down and hangs out there.
It wasn't clickbait.
I'm not gonna lie, man. This island is pretty fucking great.
Even the humblest snail has some kind of magical ability. It's like everything here has adapted itself to having magic just prevalent in the air everywhere.
That's pretty astute of you. Have you thought about becoming a researcher?
Of course I have. It's what I've always wanted to be. Dad wouldn't approve, though.
Well, I mean, do you need your dad's approval to be a researcher? I mean,
When your dad
back on the way.
when your dad runs an entire continent, yeah.
I mean, have you asked him about it?
Oh yes, and you'd love his reaction. He turns this beautiful shade of red anytime I try and bring anything like that up. You know.
But I mean, surely, like, the seeking of knowledge should be something to be honored and revered, right? Or is that not a thing in Crescent?
Oh, it's a thing. It's just not a thing for noble bloodlines. It's for the lessers, the people that aren't great generals and conquerors.
It's
Basically,
the kind of things and looks up. That doesn't feel right, because wouldn't those great generals and conquerors have to be quite learned?
Well, yes. That's why they delegate. That's what conquerors do. They delegate. They delegate the acquisition of knowledge to the sages and the researchers, and the sages and researchers get to have all the fun figuring things out, and disseminate it out to the conqueror, who then disregards it and does what he wants.
I don't know, man. I mean, just as a heads up, my dad works at a university to the west, so if you ever get the hankering, we could probably get you a... I think Machida hasn't spoken the common equivalent of the west, has he? Or has he?
He has not. Yeah, you haven't heard him speak common, just Crescent.
Yeah. I mean, depends. I mean, do you speak... Actually, what is the language in the west called? Is it just called common?
It's just called common in the west.
Yeah. Do you speak common in the... Well, I guess it's not common for you, but depending how fast you pick it up, you might be able to... I don't know, just go study at the university. Depends what you want to study. I mean, they specialize typically in magic there, in theory, but, I mean, there's a couple of departments there.
I would love nothing more. He actually switches over to common.
Oh. That makes it much easier.
Your Crescent is quite good, by the way. I applaud you.
He kind of like looks around and kind of leans in. I'm gonna be honest with you. I have never ever studied that hard in my life. Quite frankly, because there was a woman with a stick who would beat me if I got stuff wrong, and then Korgath had a bigger stick, and then he'd beat me, just for fun. So
Yeah.
I spent about a month on a boat, spending about 12 hours a day studying your language. And I'm still studying at night, and Z like ruffles in his bag and brings out the sheets. You guys have so many words. And depending how you write the words, the meaning changes.
Yeah, and the symbols are all finicky too. Tell me about it.
Yeah. I mean, it's beautiful, but you know, scales. It's a lot. I am not a smart man, despite my father's attempts. I am very much still in the midst of studying.
If only we could all be exactly what our fathers want us to be. Look, I love common, and I love researching, and I haven't really had a chance to talk about it with anybody, but I have to admire the bravery of your statement. Me wandering off to the west to study, as if that wouldn't just start an international incident immediately. My father wouldn't hear at the beginning of it.
I mean, I wasn't gonna say anything, but yeah. But I mean, maybe, I don't know. Maybe we can convince your dad to ease up a little bit. I don't know, depending how things turn. Maybe
Yeah.
Tell you what, if things go alright, I will personally put in a good word to my dad, and see if he can't do something and get you a position at the university. You know, as a student, because I mean, there's a lot there. I think you'd what was it called? Morphological studies. That's the actual. I think one of my auntie Auntie Neuron taught that. Something to do with like how species evolve according to their environment.
At any point, would Raoul have eyes and be able to lip read what they're saying?
I mean, can you see us? I ran off.
Yeah, they kind of ran off in a random direction. They're like somewhere on
Fair.
sort of the outskirts of the village. Roll a D100, Rel. You're gonna need to get pretty high.
88.
Oh shit.
That's high enough.
That's pretty high.
15% chance, and you got it. So.
Wow.
So yes, you are within eye shot, not earshot, of this conversation.
You see Ral's eyes, like he kind of looks off to the periphery, notices, is kind of watching the conversation for a moment, and then like full head turn, body turn, and determined walk.
So Machida just smiles. Honestly, it sounds like heaven to me. But you've seen my dad, right? You see those sticks that you're swinging around there? I'm pretty sure Deku got them from
No,
your
I put
dad's
the-
ass.
I mean, I put them all in my bag. He didn't see me. He
Okay.
didn't see me be a tiny red devil walking around with 10 arms, beating everything with sticks.
Well, if it would take multiple years of study to figure out what exactly got up my dad's ass, but yeah, it doesn't look likely.
Regardless of the rectal obstruction that your father had.
Whoa, God,
Ral,
where
you are
did you
very-
come from, buddy?
You are very quiet when you want to be.
Absolutely. Regardless of the rectal obstruction your father had, I believe it is still admirable for a general's son to want to act as an ambassador for Crescent,
That is true.
a prestigious school. Who
You could
holds
be
many
the
power in the West, as well as is the home to many of the heroes that your father is trying to recruit.
That is true. You could be the first graduate from the university and at least 100 years at that point, right? Maybe more.
You actually see Machida go into like a thoughtful look. Huh.
You could spin it as strengthening relations with the West as well, just by being a visible body as such.
I gotta hand it to you, Gym Guy. You're creepy as fuck a lot of the time, but sometimes you really know how to play things.
One could say the lack of living within a civilization for 35 years has given me a much better analytical mind.
He thinks very objectively rather than emotionally.
Yes.
To put it in layman's terms. But I can also give you a starter course, if you would like. We have time, and I am currently bored.
You are an alma mater. I think that's the right term. I think.
My
Maybe.
10 years of study at the university were short in terms to others, but I had many specializations. Rao pulls out his spell book as well as 2 other books. Should I begin?
Machida looks surprised at the opportunity, but then he smiles. Well, first, here it comes. Check it out. He holds his hand up to the snail. As the snail gets ready to hop leaves, and boom, you see the celestial wings come out, glides to the next leaf.
I actually want to kind of look at the snail for a little bit and kind of hold my finger out. Come on. Come on, not going to hurt you. Come to my finger. Maybe tempt it with a leaf.
The snail turns and hops off the leaf. Little wings glides onto your hand.
I imagine its shell is kind of pearlescent.
It is.
Just a little bit.
Slightly luminescent. It's reminiscent of Alan's shell from the bamboo
Aw.
forest.
I'm going to name you Alan Jr.
The snail claps its eyes together.
guys, I think this isn't a well. Clearly, it's not an average snail, but look. Hold out Alan Jr. to them.
Regardless of Machita's response, Ral has begun prattling on about the fundamentals and how the arcane mathematical tables work, even having gone to the extent of pulling out his pipe to help visualize and put up many equations at once in the air and smoke.
All right, see you later.
I would like to ask Alan Jr. if they would like to take on a little adventure before I drop them back.
Alan Jr. nods emphatically.
Heck yeah. Come on, little buddy. See you, Machida. See you, Ral. Enjoy the lecture.
Right. The cheetah tiredly turns back to Ral. Ral, do another insight. Ral, Machida cannot wait for you to just go all into the nitty-gritty details and mathematical equations.
Ral has not stopped and is talking 100. I'm amazed if Machida himself can actually keep up with what Ral is saying.
He isn't at all, but he's pretending to.
He's doing his
And-
damn best.
And you are buying it.
All right, now I wanna go to the blacksmith.
Okay.
This continues until the ceremony.
Oh God.
Oh, that's one way to keep
Poor
an eye
Machida.
on Machida. All right. So you make your way to the blacksmith. Nobody's there at first, but then Yume sees you going to it, and he kind of shuffles over. He's got an armful of just like metal that he just plops down on a big pile of more metal. Ah, yes, welcome to the metal place where metal happens.
Do you not like metal?
No, I love metal, but this is a lot of it. Your friend wants...
I want to insight.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm gonna insight this man.
Yeah, I mean, like, he's into blacksmithing work, but not so much running around collecting 156 pounds of scrap metal.
Damn. It's an oddly specific number.
Yeah, I thought it was an oddly specific number, too.
Well, I was wondering. So back on the mainland, Smith was able to enchant our weapons a little bit. Do you got any of that kind of thing here?
I do.
What do they do?
Weapon modification. Well, there are the common ones. There's the keen, the fiery, the chilling, thundering, and so on and so forth. There's a couple that haven't made their way onto the mainland. I have one that'll take any weapon you bring me. I can balance the weight so that it is much easier to throw. I also have one...
Do they return afterwards, or is it just the throwing?
Return? Why would a weapon return when you throw it? No, you gotta go pick it back up.
Give context for a moment. I mean, I guess it's a silly question, but couldn't you make an enchantment where if you throw the weapon, it will return back to your hand?
You actually seem to have broken through to Yume. He stews on that. Huh, like some kind of returning weapon?
Exactly.
Flashbacks of a kitsune playing fetch with a returning hand axe.
Right. Yeah, I think I could do that.
Well,
Let's see.
just adds it in. It's just an improved lightweight mod. It's like, my god, it was so simple. But it's more complex now. Now it's 200 gold.
And that was actually one of those that I probably should have had in there from the beginning. Damn, that's a really obvious one.
Oh, I thought it would be like an improved version of the lightweight, so you could get a weapon with the thrown property, and then you get
Light-
returning back.
Lightweight and returning would be a really good combination on a weapon with two major mod slots, which don't exist right now.
That's true.
But might soon.
You know, hypothetically, Z kind of like takes off one of his armbands. If you enchanted this with Throne, what would happen? Because they're enchanted to improve my body, so
You can still throw it.
Z kind of looks at him.
Yume says, "Can I see it?"
Sure.
He holds the
Tosses
armband.
him a
Right. So if I made it so you could throw this is what would happen, and he just yeets that shit. And then
I'd
he
like
looks
to
back
grab
at
my armband back.
you haven't you're dexterous enough that you don't have to roll. You just kind of grab it as he eats it.
Deflect missile, grab. Excuse you? Don't eat my armbands. No, they specifically. Look, I've noticed when I've been fighting. Look, I love fighting and I love being up close and personal. What I want to be able to do is be able to hit things from a bit further off.
Sounds to me like you need a backup weapon, like a throwing axe or a javelin or something like that.
But I work with my hands. I don't know how to use anything else. And Z looks kind of like disturbed by this.
Can you throw your hands?
I mean, look at. Z thinks for a moment. You got a target or anything in here?
Yeah. He kind of motions off to a little practice dummy nearby.
How far away is it?
It's about 30 feet away.
I'm gonna try and attack it from a distance.
How close?
From 30 feet away!
Okay. So from 30 feet away, you throw a punch, and you just kind of punch the shit out of the air.
I'm gonna try actually throw a fist. Like, literally throw a fist at the dummy.
I'm just trying to visualize how this works.
Rocket punch.
Your arms
A
don't
bit of me
detach,
just-
do they?
I mean, I guess I could detach part of me? Maybe?
I don't think so.
I don't know. I'm gonna try. This would probably be like a bad idea. I have to remake my hand from scratch. Oh, it's gonna be horrible.
Oh god. This is gonna end with Z with a fucking Sekiro prosthetic, I know it.
Oh god.
Yume finally lets out a sigh. He seems to relent a bit. Okay, I see your problem.
I literally want to try doing that now, kid. What should I roll
Roll.
to detach?
Sanity?
Constitution 2.
Sanity?
Uh,
I think you
Constitution
need-
at
I think-
disadvantage.
I think you're the one that needs to roll insanity, mate.
let's have this do insight. See, do insight. for me.
Okay. Let's see how much of a good idea this is. Probably not a great idea.
You stand there contemplating how to throw a punch, how to punch somebody 30 feet away from you. For a moment, you think of Deku's stick, but then you discard the thought. And you think
Wait a minute.
that maybe this could be solved with some kind of technology.
Z claps his hands together. I've got it. Do you have any darts? Like small slivers of metal?
Like throwing darts, Yume says?
Yeah.
Darts specifically made to throw and hit targets that are far away?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have those.
Cool. Can I grab one real quick?
Yeah, he hands one over to you.
Okay. I put it in my arm, and then I fire it out of my arm.
Rocket dart. Sure. So darts are like simple weapons, so you know how to use them. pretty sure.
Yeah, they're technically
Darts
not normally applicable with monk weapons, but the latest Unearthed Arcana let them be an option based on the new wording of it. So up to you if you let me use it.
Yeah,
As just
I'll let you use darts.
all right.
And you fucking eat that shit.
Hell yeah.
It goes right into the target dummy's center of mass.
Hmm.
Yume gives you a little golf clap. I think we've had a breakthrough today.
Wait a minute. I have an even better idea.
Mm-hmm.
What if we enchanted one of these with returning?
That was going to be my next suggestion.
Let's try it. I'm gonna give him 100 gold to enchant. Oh, Z kind of looks at it like, do you have any really nice ones that are, I don't know, like reinforced with Titanite?
Yes. Titanite reinforced dart. I can do that. He kind of picks one up. Says this one was
How much?
made from Titanite. Let me see.
How much is it?
It is 2,400 gold. 2,400.
2,400 for it?
Yes.
I think that's pretty fair. Okay. Can you put the thing on it as well? So I'll pay 2,500.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So you now have a returning +1 dart.
Okay. Let's test this theory out. I put it back into my arm. Fire it out again.
Okay, do your attack.
So is Z's arm a breech loader, or does he just kind of like press it into the muscle until it pops?
Basically a breech loader. This is how I imagined it. It like just fires out of his wrist.
So the dart flings out of your wrist and again strikes the target's center of mass, buries itself inside. Except now, it once it hits, it vanishes and reappears in between your fingers.
Oh man, I want it back inside my arm. Maybe if I make a hollow space for it. Hold on.
God.
Kind of thinks about it for a second. Lets it
Flicking
slide back in.
Titanite
Fires it off
in your
again.
body.
I'm getting better with this too.
You
Apparently.
are. That one went right between the eyes.
Of the target dummy.
So you
Was it
completely own that damn dummy.
Yeah. Hooray. I shall Alright, I shall add that to my thing now. So it's like a surprise weapon.
It's always good to diversify your options, Yume says.
It is. Well, thanks for that. Oh, also I have all these sticks. How much would it cost to get all these sticks enchanted?
There's sticks.
Yeah.
This is a blacksmith.
Uh-huh.
You may blink several times. I can't reinforce or enchant a stick.
Oh. Oh.
They're nice sticks, I'll give you that.
Oh.
All the little knobby bits are off. Perfect.
They are really good sticks. Scratches his chin.
Poor Yume.
Hmm.
Oh, this poor guy.
You know, I might have met. I'm gonna go.
Yeah. Me too.
Slides away.
They accidentally walk off in the same direction.
They start. Yeah. You may
Like,
starts
Z
walking in the
turns
same
around-
direction as you, Z.
Z turns around like, why are you going this way? Aren't you working at the smithy?
No, I have to collect 156 pounds of scrap metal. Just yes. All right. Yeah. Mm. He banks
looks
90
back, wasn't that-
degrees, just takes off running.
Z looks the other way, like there's just a pile of metal there, and is just like, I think you're alright. Oh. Come on, snail friend, let's get you back home. Thank you for accompanying me to the blacksmith. I will take a splinter of the stick and give it a tiny stick sword. It is now Musnaoshi.
Oh God. Oh no.
Just one eye stick holding it, one eye stalk holding it aloft valiantly, like a sword.
Just or in its mouth, you know. I hope in
Begin to
mouth.
eat it.
All right. Jesus Christ. Inoko.
As he returns. And this is the part of the fundamental theorem where arcane metabolisms are calculated within the
Oh, no.
biohemisphere of the body.
Oh, Machida is still being a trooper and hanging on. Inoko.
Mm-hmm.
You are keeping an eye on things. But you hear kind of a shuffling nearby of somebody not really trying to mask their presence. He kind of just plops out of the grass. You see this large frog-like figure. It's Jiraiya, the toad that the party was carrying around in a bottle when you got there. Hmm. 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 Yes. The rest of
Inoko.
them. Sorry, what was that?
I say, Inoko looks up at him. You seem to be in better condition than when we arrived.
Mm-hmm. Yes, once it became clear I did not take those gems for my own posterity, Kiaton saw fit to let me retain my form. But that is neither here nor there. The others you are with, they have far less stake, don't they?
Hardly any at all.
Yes. Well, Kiaton wanted them here, wanted you here as well. I think that he thinks whatever this conflict is takes precedence to whatever's happening over there on the mainland. Personally, I disagree.
What's happening on the mainland that's bigger than this?
Well, I speak, of course, about the Tanaka reign. You may not think me as somebody interested in human affairs, but I like to keep my head in the game. I like to know what's going on. And I think that the conflict between the dear princess and the shogunate is far more important than any of the magical frolickers here give weight to. Crescent is at the center of the world. So perhaps it is a good thing that there is a native here amongst all these outsiders to help keep us grounded. I see you watching the Tanaka boy. That's the reason I came up to you. What do you think of him?
I think he has a lot of potential.
Yes, but he is the son of the Trader General, is he not?
Physically.
Hmm. Well, if it came down to it, and he had to choose between his father and the good of the realm, do you really think he would choose the latter?
No. I don't think he'd choose the former either.
Good. You have a good head on your shoulders. You are right to keep your eye on him. I do not think a simple magic lesson will be enough to break that bond that forms between father and son, Ribbit. When it comes to it, you may be meeting his enemies one day. Don't let naivety rule over the others.
I won't. I honestly expected our first meeting would be as enemies.
It's called the churn, Jiraiya says. The churn, enemies becoming friends, friends becoming enemies, alliances breaking and reforming and shifting. It is the way of humans, it is the way of any intelligent species that lives less than 100 years. Life's so fleeting, they want to see all of it that they can before they're in the ground. And for another human meta, there is that pirate that bested me. He looks very uncomfortable admitting that. There is also him to worry about.
Worry?
He seems capable of crossing planes. He seems capable of besting even myself in single combat. Yes, I would say he is a concern, especially since he has one of those precious gems that seems to be so powerful. Kiyotan is going to lead you to believe that this ancient conflict of Fey, skin, and scale is the only one that matters, but do not let that dissuade you from the importance of the stuff of man, the human conflict. After all, humans are the one that dominate the earth, are they not? And yes, you are a human in the eyes of the true Fae.
I know that well enough. But the rule is fleeting.
You learn quick. Well, keep your eye on him. Keep an eye on who your friends are. They may not be your friends a week from now. With that cryptic statement, Jiraiya moves to shuffle off. No steak, Captain Smiley. No steak indeed. You don't actually recall there being any beef products on the island.
Oof!
Is Smiley doing anything before we move on to the ceremony?
We'll go look at that lake real quick, the reflecty pool.
Okay. So you wander up to the reflecty pool. As you approach, the playful sounds of the village kind of just fade to a minimum. here, staring at this reflecting pool among the bamboo, you see a rusted old katana driven into the ground, a red piece of cloth tied around the hilt. You see what looks like a religious shrine in the distance, two glowing lights. You gaze at that reflecting pool. The water is completely clear. You can see the smooth stone basin at the bottom. The hair on the back of your neck stands up, and you feel you are not alone. Kiaton has joined you.
Hi.
Hello. Hero.
Nice night?
It is a nice night, indeed. You can never see the stars out here on Kitsune Island. The mists tend to cover them up, but I assure you, it is a very starry night.
Can you see the stars?
Kiaton shifts his head towards yours, his shimmering white eyes. Before, they looked like they were glowing with power, but now it just looks like cataracts. No, he says simply.
Oh. Could you before?
I am Gaen's voice, not his sight, he says cryptically. He turns his gaze to the reflecting pool. This is where I spend most of my time.
It's a nice place.
I thank you. It is a special place. Roll sleight of hand for me, Smiley.
That's a weird thing to be rolling. Okay.
Nope.
That's
Yeah.
more than that.
Oh, yeah.
23.
So you see Kiaton's paws kind of shuffling against the ground. It's the same kind of motion someone makes when they're holding back information.
Are you okay? You seem distressed.
Yes. I'm distressed is a way of putting it.
I can listen.
The fox goes up on all fours and approaches you. I'm sure that heroes have better things to be doing than listening to the dronings of an ancient.
No, not really.
The side of his face kind of quirks in what you think might be a smile. Very well, then. I am nervous. I'm nervous not about the future of just my people, the Kitsune, but of all of us. If the dragons are left to their own devices, they'll plot and they'll scheme their way until they're on the top again. Always the same cycle with them. I had no idea what I was going to do to stop it until Naomi told me about you lot.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to angle humanity to overcome the dragons. Roll stealth. That was a very evasive answer.
You're gonna angle us?
That's right. I'm going to put humanity in the position to overcome the dragons.
How? And why us? Well, not us, but, humans.
Because humanity has earned their place as the dominant species of Terria. Us old Fae, I believe we are doomed to obscurity.
I like you.
That may be true. And we may have to form an alliance, if temporarily, to deal with the dragons.
You think humans are gonna get rid of you?
No, I don't think humans are going to get rid of us. I think they're going to forget us. Roll Intimidate, Smiley.
These are weird rolls.
I mean, you're talking to a very old and very weird foxman thing.
You sense a small part of Kiatan is scared of something.
Yeah. Can you just be straight with me and tell me what it is?
I am being straight with you. I want you to go to the stone towers, clear out the machinations there, and make contact with Gaia. From there, we can figure out how to leverage the power of the true ancient Fae in the fight against the dragons.
And what do humans have to do with that?
Humans will be the vessel.
Ah.
Now, there is a very important ceremony coming, and I cannot chat for any longer, but feel free to stay here as long as you
Hey.
like.
Whose katana was this? This, sword.
Oh, that was here when I got here, he says, before disappearing off into the mists.
Bye.
The entire conversation leaves you... what's the word? Suspicious.
Nar. I don't know what to do with any of that, but it was good.
You
Are there any
once again-
pebbles?
Yeah, there's a pebble around.
Can Smiley skip some rocks?
Roll a sleight of hand. You get like a quadruple skip out of that one before it sinks to the bottom.
Yeah.
But there's no sound.
Huh.
But that's like the most satisfying part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The best is when you skip it across the ice and you hear it.
Well, I guess Smiley will head back.
Smiley, think fast! Throws a
What?
stick at him. Drive-by stick action.
Dexterity save, Smiley.
The one.
Nope, you grab that Deku stick. Very easy to catch.
You just hear some weird Euro techno music in the background. There's some initial D music is just playing as he's running around now. The snail has never felt such speed.
So, about the time you catch the stick, you hear the sound of drums and stringed instruments from the center of town. You look around and you realize all the other kitsune seem to have sidled off. None of them are in any of the buildings anymore.
Where are they?
Well, you hear quite a commotion from the center of town.
Smiley will head that way.
Okay. As you approach the center of town, you see all the kitsune in the village are gathered around a shrine in the center. Yume's there, Deku is there, Kama is there, as is Naomi. And Naomi is in front of the shrine. Overlooking things from a tower above, you see the multi-tailed fox, Kiatan, looking down at the proceedings. There seems to be an air of reverence as, for the first time since you've seen her, Naomi looks humbled. She kneels in front of the shrine. Are the rest of you gathering up to watch the proceedings?
I don't think I knew about it, but I think I just follow, like, Camo or something eventually. Go seek her out and saw her, like, heading there. Like, hey, what you doing? Oh, you know, just this really important ceremony. Oh, cool, I'm gonna come.
It's really cool. There's lots of dancing and music. She's actually still
You had me at Dan.
She's actually still chatting with you as she plays the harp. She just picks up a harp and starts playing it. She's like, "Oh, by the way, you're like in the center of all the important things, so over that way a little bit, please."
Oh, okay.
You can talk behind me though.
Okay, he heads over there, so he's not just taking Naomi's thunder. Or Kama's.
As Ral is walking up with Machida, still prattling on the theories of how polymorph actually work and the most base concepts, he stops abruptly in the middle of a sentence and just focuses on the ceremony. Full stop. Just drops the conversation and is 100% focused on Naomi and the ceremony.
Yeah. Right then, Machida says, "Very good. Enjoyed the lesson and everything, Teach. I'm gonna go walk over this direction now."
He is paying no mind to Machida at all.
Right. He gives you the double thumbs up and moves very far away from you to go stand by Korgath. Wait, Korgath's probably not even there.
I'm around.
He's around. Okay. Nishida is also around.
I'm in the back.
So
Ral has made his way towards the front.
So what you see in front of you are all the kitsune of the village, lined up in a circle, many of them playing instruments. And they all are circled around Naomi. You hear soft sounds of the instruments. You expect there to be speech, words, some kind of acknowledgement or verbalization of what's happening. But as the music goes on, Naomi just starts to dance. A very well choreographed dance in time with the slow, mournful song that's going on. And the longer it goes on, the more you realize the ceremony is performed without words. Focusing on Naomi's dance, you start to realize what it is. It is an interpretation. She pantomimes out being stuck in the servitude of Cecil Florentine. She mimes out a group of heroes storming the mansion and freeing her and bringing her along.
Ral is casting Detect Thoughts.
On Naomi?
I believe it's any creature within a range I can see.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I cast it and it affects me, but I can center it on any one creature.
Okay.
And for now, I'm just staying at the surface. I'm not digging deeper just yet.
So you get some surface level thoughts pinging from all around the Kitsune. The other Kitsune are gaining information from this process. You see them interpreting the dance and being transformed into symbols that they can understand. Symbols just being brain artifacts. It's processing in their minds the story that Naomi is telling with her dance. So, between Naomi's dancing and the Kitsune's processing, you see the scene unfold visually before you, behind your eyes. The party freed her from Cecil's service when they stormed the mansion. Then, she establishes Bavol. She gives a brief description of what the place is like, making sure to emphasize the social construct of the humans and the non-humans, and how those that were perceived as non-human were held to a lesser standard. This thought would be in tandem with Nag's. You get a bit of dissonance because Naomi moves to describe Nag himself. She slithers along the ground like a snake, but then walks on two legs like a man. This is all the rest of the Kitsune need to understand that Nag was a snake creature. Then she moves on to the firebombing of the Noble District.
At this point, I would like to delve deeper.
Into who exactly?
Naomi.
You feel...
This is a DC 16 Wisdom save.
Oh boy, Naomi's character sheet. Does that still exist? It does,
Maybe.
It's archived.
It was all 20s.
Okay. 100 archived characters. And Naomi is not one of them. Yes, she is. There she is. Hello, Naomi. And it was a 4. 10. So she fails. So you get to delve deeper into Naomi's thoughts. Mostly what you get is performative thoughts, thoughts of execution, taking these complex memories and distilling them down into the interpretive dance of the Kitsune. But you see a lot of her emotions kind of playing around at the side, the things that she's leaving out of the story. Things like her insistence of coming here right away instead of going to Bavol. So look what happened. She leaves that part out. She gets to the part where the Noble District got firebombed. All the heroes walking out into utter chaos and chasing down Gabriel into the sewer. There, she describes William Kane and the death of Nag. The music grows darker and more mysterious as Nag dies. Ral, you can feel some of her thoughts on the matter. She was equal parts sad and angry, but not angry at William, but angry at the stubborn Westerners who didn't just do what she asked at first. Her story of her adventures continues as she details your escape from the sewers, Korgath's brush with near death. She talks of meeting with Samuel Kennedy, gaining information on the resistance, as they called themselves, the terrorists. She describes in glossing detail the bloody fight at the Shuki Temple. Ral, you sense her intentionally leaving out the part where she struck down some of the surrendering members.
So, finding that gap, could I use the dragon's mind speech and my understanding of her thought pattern now to interlay my voice as close as I can to her own train of thought and make her think, or make her add that in?
Oh no.
Alright. Let's see what I can do for that. Let's do a... Christ. This ought to be contested Arcana?
Alright. Do I have advantage since I've been monitoring her thoughts and emotions this whole time?
Yeah, we'll see that. We'll say that plays into your study thing that you have with people. So you have advantage on
Alright.
this. So, using your newfound psychic powers, you kind of force that willful neglect of that moment into her thought process. There is only a mild hesitation in her physical interpretation. But then she mimes swinging her sword across Queen's throat, ending her life. You definitely get a lot of shock reaction from the other kitsune. And then a mixed reaction. Some of the older kitsune stand behind her thought process. Some of the younger ones see her actions as a bit barbaric. One thing you notice, your detect thoughts is completely bouncing off of Kiaton's. You cannot get a read on him.
I've never even tried. I assumed he is blocking me entirely. And may even know I'm doing this.
If he does know, he is making no indication that he does. He is simply watching with complete neutrality. Even still, when Naomi mimes herself, slitting the throat of Queen, there is a small bit of murmuring amongst the kitsune. A mixed reaction.
And then with the nat 20, can I also make her mime out the raising of the specter? Was it Dove?
Yes, it was Dove she raised.
And I want to attempt to amplify the anger and emotion she had in that immediate moment. Just play it up real big.
And all of it comes to the forefront as she mimes out the ghost of Dove coming up, and why she did it, specifically to scare not just Gabriel, but the Shuki priest, to show that the kitsune were here, and they were more powerful than man, and these childish games were beneath the kitsune. You get more of an intense, mixed reaction from the kitsune. Even some of the younger ones seem to think that that's gone too far, but there is a sizable portion who think that that made for a pretty good prank. After the details of the encounter at the Shuke Temple are completed, Naomi moves on with her dance, flowing into the final confrontation with William Kane. She takes on the role of everybody, spending some time as Korgath, some time as William, some time as Ral, as Smiley and Z, going over each of your exploits during the battle. And then she mimes William falling to his death. There is a bit of embellishment at the end, as she claims she is the one who struck the final
I'm gonna
blow.
try and play that one down and give it to Korgath.
Alright, another contested Arcana. She does not make it. So, yeah, she plays down her involvement. Makes it clear that it was Korgath who struck the final blow, sending both of them toppling off. But with that, William Kane is now dead. Then she gets into more recent events, covering your boat ride over. A funny section of the story as she goes over all of your attempts to learn Crescient and the struggles you had. Z, you feel some eyes on you and a little bit of laughter around the other kitsune as she goes over Kayala with her beat stick.
Where's Machida?
He sidled over next to you, Z, so he's like right next to you.
Okay. Like, behind me, I'll just kind of grow another arm and just like kind of whap myself with the stick.
That gets Machida to laugh, but he turns his attention.
Well, he doesn't see that part because I want him to see me grow in like a third arm.
Machida laughs though. She talks about. Well, she doesn't. She dances about the going to help Farmer Aquino with the Kappa. Talks about your association with the general. She then moves to a more contemporary groove when she gets to the part with Gorix and Hilda, outlining your fight against the reanimated dead. Then some of the story branches off. You remember
With
now.
perfect clarity, I would like to assault her mind in the same way I was assaulted when I opened my third eye and listened to Smiley and Korgath's thoughts.
You just want
to
to
the best of my ability, muddle her thoughts.
You just want to muddle her? Like overload her?
Yeah.
Oh man.
I
That's
haven't
mean.
had fish in a long time.
What's next after forks? Okay. To reach that level of output,
Can you hear my thoughts, Ral? La 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 la.
we're gonna put you at disadvantage and roll Arcana, and she's gonna make a con save versus it.
Okay.
But she fails.
Damn.
It begins.
So she dances to the end of your encounter with Gorix and Hilda, and then you see her just kind of stop, and her hand goes up to her temple, and her brow furrows. She shakes her head to try and clear it out, but she can't. You sense that she is really overcome mentally right now. So, to save face, she gives a slightly graceless spin and then bows to the kitsune, indicating the end of the dance, still with one hand on her temple.
Now we'll continue this onslaught until the end of the detect thought.
Until the end of the what?
Till the end of detect thoughts.
Until the end of detect thoughts. Holy shit.
Yeah, I want to just sit in there and I want to listen to the madness that is going on her and just enjoy it.
You mostly get anger, a lot of anger. You are so deep in her mind that you realize now she probably knows it's you doing this.
There is a quiet whisper of, "This is payback," amidst the muddling of Korgath and Smileys and Z's. Just myriad of thoughts.
Hey Naomi, can you hear me right now? What's going on? I joined in too. Z's eyes are glowing, assuming direct control.
Yes. This mental battle is going on. And the whole dance takes about 2 minutes, so detect thoughts probably ends very shortly after her dance. And the moment it ends, her hand comes off her temple. She doesn't make a big deal out of it, but her head turns and stares directly at you, Rao.
Wide smile. And I golf clap at the end of the dance.
Kiatan, his voice rings out. The first words spoken since the beginning of the dance. Very well. My children, you have heard the story. Now decide for yourselves. Has Amamori Naomi earned her 4th tail? You see the kitsune whispering amongst themselves. There's a lot of contention, a lot of disagreement. Voices are raised, then lowered, then raised again. And then there's a silence once more. An elder-looking kitsune stands up. We are ready to decide upon granting another tail to Amamori Naomi. Very well. What is your decision? The elder raises his hands to Kitsune, to Kiatan. Kiatan's eyes glint, and he nods in understanding. Then Kiatan turns his attention back to Naomi. Amamori Naomi, stand. little kitsune comes to a stand. You have been granted a fourth tail. She looks giddy for a second, but then the fourth tail emerges from her back, but it is pure black in contrast to the colorful other tails she has. Naomi's face looks shocked and then crestfallen. Amamori Naomi, while your deeds have indeed been great and worthy of another tale, they were also reckless and in some cases cruel. This black spot will serve as a reminder, not just to you, but to others. The actions we take affect all of those around us, no matter how short-lived or inferior we deem them to be. Naomi looks crushed by this. The shocked murmuring of the other kitsune lets you know immediately that this is not a common occurrence.
Ral withholds the smile and the urge to make fireworks with prestidigitation.
After the shock wears off, you see Naomi looking very crushed. Not an expression you see her wearing very often. She kind of just disappears off into the crowd. Some of the other kitsune come up to congratulate her, but she doesn't seem interested in hearing it.
Satisfied with his work, Ral will go to join Korgath and find Kama.
Turns out Kama is seeking you out, so as you come upon Korgath, Kama runs up. Oh my goodness, she got a black tail. I've never seen that happen.
Has that ever happened?
It has. Indeed, there are the kitsune that go out there under Kiaton's name and do some not great things. Usually, though, they don't just come here and tell us about it.
She was very crass and brazen. I'm not terribly surprised, to be honest.
Kama scratches the back of her head. Yeah, that whole part about bringing the ghost up, using it to taunt that priest, even I thought that was a bit much. Well,
I cannot personally comment, as at the time I was not within a stable mindset myself, as you saw, undoubtedly.
yeah, she had you turning into this big monster thing.
I used to be able to do so.
Huh. But not anymore?
Taller, angrier, and bulkier than this one, and he points at...
I can't imagine that. Kama cranes her neck up to look at you, Korgath.
Hello.
That's alright. He body slammed that part of me, so...
Ah, well that's a good thing to do then. Oh, I got that spell you wanted.
Wonderful.
She pulls up some old parchments and written in Crescient, you see Kama's take on the Modify Memory spell.
Hal will immediately scour each page, top to bottom, until I am certain I can recite it from memory into my book, and then hand the papers back.
Damn.
You sure you don't need to keep these?
I have sufficiently engraved them into my memory.
Right. Well, you do you, Mr. Valorian.
I will.
That was a lot to take in. It's getting about bedtime for the village, so everybody will be shacking up soon. Kiyotan told me to tell you guys that you have your own building. She motions to it. It's got
Wonderful.
things like beds and windows, walls.
Well, Mr. Korgath, are you ready to delve into your past?
Yep.
Korgath, you hear a voice in your head. Kiyotan's voice. Korgath. Come to the reflecting pond.
Let's go do our thing, Lorian Zarbosa.
Well, we should, hide away is probably the best we can do. Away from prying eyes and prying mind.
Sounds good.
Lead the way. You have been outside of the town more than I have.
Not going to the reflecting pool. I don't want to talk to Doggo Boy at the moment. So we'll just, I don't know, someplace quiet.
Okay.
Away from people.
You do catch look at Kiyotan. Roll Intimidate, Korgath. From this distance, you can tell Kiyotan's a bit shocked. He didn't just do what he asked.
I'm just not going to pay him any mind and go with my friend.
All right.
Just that passing hoof of this. Nope, my mind went blank.
So yeah, so you just pay Kiyotan no mind, completely ignoring his command. And he looks like he doesn't know what to do with that. As you find a nice little hideaway spot. Let's see if I have something like that. This looks good. Small little pond. There are some little light obaques floating upon it. Nobody's within earshot.
Alright. Now, unless you would like to give me some time, I don't think I can clarify any of these memories. I can delve into your mind and try to find them. But give me a few hours, and we can probably attempt to clarify and bring to light some things that are hidden deep within your subconscious and far beyond the veil that I can pierce normally.
I mean, we're not going anywhere.
Alright, then for the next few hours, I will inscribe Modify Memory into the book.
Okay.
And if you would allow me to prepare it.
Yeah, this is good stuff. Let's do it.
Alright. But we'll lose Disguise Self. Just swap it out. First, I will cast Detect Thoughts.
All right.
We're gonna bump up the power level of it a little bit. We're gonna expend a 4th level spell.
Oh God. Okay. And you're just letting him Korgath?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, this Nag promised.
So you feel Korgath not resisting you and letting you in.
Don't fuck with my mind.
Relorian, make a Constitution save right off the bat.
Oof.
All right. I'm going to be using Nag's memories with Korgath as kind of a guiding post on where to initially go.
Okay. I'm gonna need a
Con save?
yes.
21.
All right.
Strong wizard.
You are overwhelmed by anger. It is so much anger.
I'm raging, boy.
The rage that you see on Korgath externally is a pale visage of the internal storm going on inside. Still, you manage to keep yourself and still yourself against the wave of rage that washes over you. Now, the visual scene in front of you shifts and changes. You are now both standing in a great black void together. There is what vaguely looks like water beneath your feet. You stand looking at each other. You are now in Korgath's surface thoughts. You are joined with Nag's memory of Korgath. You get the sense that there are many directions and many pathways to walk down. You need only fixate on a certain moment in time to bring it to the forefront.
Ral just kind of nods, looks to Korgath, Nag's memory of Korgath. He thought very fondly of you. We shall return to the time you two first met, to give us an anchor in who we are and who you are, and a way further back.
Okay.
Raoul will that memory to the forefront.
That memory is brought to the forefront. The black void around you shifts, and you are brought into a region that you can remember as well, Ralorian. The bond here between all the people in question is very strong. Ral, you and Korgath and Nag are all standing at the bank of water where you rested briefly after escaping from the sewers in Bavol. Only it's now daytime. Wait, it'd be nighttime here, so it's nighttime still. But the scene is different. You see Korgath and Nag conversing with one another. That was a daring escape. I didn't think you would actually throw that spear. Fuck. I really wish Telric was here. Holy shit. I really wish Telric was here. Oh well.
So this is the first time you guys met after your escape.
Am I coherent in this, or is it him picturing?
Yeah, you are coherent. You can
Yeah.
talk to
Yeah.
Ral.
This is.
So
this
you're
is-
actually seeing yourself here, Korgath. There are two Korgaths. There's now Korgath and Memory of Korgath.
Yeah, you're a spectator in this as much as I am.
Yeah. This is I got paired up with this hoodlum. We won the battle royale, and we got a day outside. And we made a break for it, and this is where we ended up.
A valiant effort. Then
Yeah.
let us pull back slowly. Let us see the first, the last memory you had within Cecil's possession. Raoul will attempt to will that memory out of court.
Okay. Let me confer with Korgath here.
So by last, you mean like the first memory of Cecil?
No, but before the big mat,
Oh,
still within his care, but sometime before the big match, something prevalent that Korgath would remember before.
huh. Getting introduced to the Snake Man below the pit.
Yeah, that
That
would be.
was,
That would be it, wouldn't it?
yeah, that's pretty. Fuck is this thing? Oh, great! I've got to fight with this today.
So you see Cecil interacting with Korgath in a lonely cell. You see him bringing Nag in. You hear echoes of the past conversation. Korgath, you are my prized fighter. This one has magic powers. It would only be proper for my most powerful physical brawler to team up with my most powerful magic user, would it not? You and I, we've gotten along so far, haven't we, Korgath? You've made me a lot of money, and I've been very good to you.
He's not even responding.
Raoul halts the memory there. So you all had seen each other just before the fight.
Yeah, not long.
It's still valiant that you put your trust in a stranger, that he wouldn't rat you out afterward.
Well, he made a promise. I figured it was worth seeing through.
Well, let us delve even further. And Raoul will attempt to bring up Korgath's first memory of Cecil.
This one is much fuzzier. You see a very young Korgath. You see the towering, bulbous figure of Cecil, also looking a little bit younger. You hear Cecil's voice. Oh, the size of this one, at this young. Why wouldn't his parents want him? Huh. No matter. You're gonna grow up to be a star, Korgath. I'll make sure of that.
How old does Korgath look in this memory?
Probably. Yeah,
7 to 10.
Yeah, 7 to 10. I was gonna say around 8.
Alright. From here, your memories will become like a fog. But I hope to help alleviate the strain and clarify. This is your first memory of Cecil Florentine, the man who imprisoned you. But let us think of something farther away. A distant repeal from this torrent and storm that roils within yourself. Think of a calming embrace of one you no longer remember. Trying to evoke memories of Korgath's mother.
I will attempt to think of that.
And I will cast Modify Memory at 6th level to try and clarify his thought.
Alright. The DM really needs another drink, so give me 2 minutes, please.
I need to pee really bad.
Yeah, let's take care of that real quick. Be right back.
Some deep lore tonight.
The only downside is that it's probably 9th level is what you want to use. We don't got time to
Yeah.
wait for that.
Yeah.
I mean, unless Korgath wants to wait until like 17th level to class change.
I mean, with the way I'm doing this, I don't think I need a 9th level spell slot because I'm not using it to actually change the memory as much as I'm trying to clarify it and bring it more into the forefront of the brain. And I'm using it in tandem with Detect Thoughts.
Alrighty. DM is back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Hope everyone is enjoying Ral's deep dive into Korgath's thoughts and his therapeutics.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I had no idea it was going to happen, but I'm having a lot of fun with it.
Whew, man, who would have ever thought delving around in memories would make a man have to pee so bad?
It has that effect on people.
Whew.
I mean, when you're just standing above this void of, well, like, water, and as the memory starts, I imagine it's just like this drop hits the water surface and it ripples out across the void and changes.
Yes. I love this kind of stuff. Okay. Go ahead and roll a... Let's roll an athletics, Korgath.
Oh, I would like to rage, but then that's not going to help me.
Yeah, go ahead and
Mental
rage.
athletics.
Okay, 16.
Things get shaky for a moment, Ral. A lot of that whirling rage. Like now you're in the eye of the cyclone, but the rage whirls all around the eye. Now, as you try and delve into this memory, the rage grows all around you. The eye starts to collapse. But you see Korgath literally grab it. He grabs his rage, a humanoid manifestation, screaming, clawing at him, but he wrestles it back down into the water. And again, things reach equilibrium here in the center of the eye. Now, with the rage
Stands
subsided,
calmly nodding.
somewhat, this memory comes back. You see a memory a small half-orc boy chasing after an animal in the forest and running into a trap, the same kind of trap that of old slavers use to catch Fae. Something seems off, though, Ral. Ral, do investigation.
Hitting the good rolls when I need them.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, Sherlock, get it.
You see this memory play again. Korgath wanders into a trap laid out by slavers. Korgath wanders into a trap laid out by slavers. It doesn't seem right. You think about it. You look. You realize what's going on. Korgath wants to believe this. Korgath wants to believe he wandered into a trap laid out by slavers. You close your eyes and focus. And now you see a young Korgath standing in the woods, alone. Lost, but not trapped. And then the slavers show up. He wasn't trapped. He was left. You go back to the moment before that, where things get very foggy, things get very murky. His memory here has obviously melded itself to a narrative that Korgath can stomach. But still, you move through it.
As I start to, things could get very emotional from here on.
Just shaking. About to let the rage back out the cage.
You hear screaming. It's a man's voice. And you hear a woman's voice pleading. He's just a boy. Please. He's just a boy. He's our boy. You can't do this. No. No, I have to. They're going to do to him what they did to me. They're going to find him. And they're going to say, "Oh, you're the great-great-grandson of Bjorn. You got to save the world now. You got to do what we tell you. You got to rise up and be all this and be all that." Whatever the man's voice is, it's heavy with inebriation. You hear the woman's voice plead through again. Please. Bjornsson, he's ours. The boy. Eric, he's yours. He's mine. He's ours. You want to just leave him out there? I won't let you. These voices, you don't see faces attached to them, you only hear them. What you do see is a young Korgath sitting by the door of his room.
Are we in the room?
Yeah, you two are in the room and you're seeing your young self kind of just sitting by the door, and this argument is happening outside.
I'm gonna try to walk out of the other room where the argument is taking place.
When you walk out of the room, You see a orcish man, but there are no defining features. And when you look at his face, he has no face. Just this faceless orc with broad shoulders and no other defining characteristics. However, you do see an orcish woman with long black hair. She's crying. The argument dies down. She enters the room, collecting the young version of yourself. And now, for the first time, you see her face in clarity. It's a kind face. It's pretty much exactly what you expected. Her soft eyes gather on young Gorgath's. And she turns around and walks out of the room with him in her arms. You hear distant voices. The man has calmed down at this point. You're right. He is our son. That's why I know he'll be just fine. He'll live a better life without the pressure of being of this bloodline. He'll be free to be his own man. Not what other people want him to be. Maybe when he grows back up, we'll get to see him again.
Ral looks to Korgath. So what did you want to be?
Happy.
Doing this, Ral is going to attempt to extrapolate a location. Not to bring it to the forefront, but to look for it within the depths of Korgath's memory.
Location of where this event right now is happening?
Yeah, trying to get a pinpoint on where Korgath grew up.
This would be on the outskirts of the Greywood in Lyncia, back in Speria, a suburb of New Haven. It makes sense. A lot of the Western Fae made a lot of settlements around the Greywood after the Red War.
Ral just kind of nods and he keeps this to himself for the moment. So you wished to be happy. Are you happy now?
Thank you, Route. Thank you very much for showing.
He is right, Mr. Korgath. You don't have to do what you are destined. The fact that I am not wielding Shelenus is a definition of a defile of destiny. That is what I was made for. I was made to be a meat puppet of sorts. Yet I have free will, and I defy my creators every breath I take. You do you. Ral will. He stays within the mindscape with Korgath. Allows him to just kind of waves his arms forward, gesturing he can do whatever he likes within here, that it will work as long as Ral continues the spell.
Has she left with me, young me?
Yeah.
I'm good to go. We can go back.
Ral nods and slowly brings us back up through the layers and back to reality.
So, like waking from a dream, you find yourself back at that reflecting pool. The Obake still dancing around the black water, swirling. It's quiet now.
Consult.
Consult?
Yeah, I'm gonna do my ancestry.
Okay. Are you going for your mother?
Hmm?
Yes? Okay.
Yes, well, piss off Karen.
And above the dancing lights, you see her. You've grown.
A little bit.
I had hoped to see you again before I passed, but I suppose this'll have to do.
Indeed, it would appear so.
Where are you now?
In a far, far away land. Go ahead, Mama.
Korgath, I have something to tell you. I never wanted to abandon you. I never wanted to leave you behind. But it's those people from the north. They came after my husband, Bjornsson. They propped him up as some kind of great figure, some kind of god. They said it was his destiny to be some kind of leading figure. He never got to do anything he wanted. Instead, he found himself representing his people everywhere he went. He liked it at first, of course, but soon he realized he didn't have any space to be the person he wanted to be. It got so bad that when we had you, we already had people banging down our door, wanting to know all about you, wanting to know how you would train you to surpass Bjornsson. How you were going to be the next great leader. We didn't want that for you. We wanted you to be. We just wanted you to be. To choose your own identity and path. And not fill the role given to you by others. We held them off as long as we could. But by the time you were a little boy, we knew that that was fruitless. She looks forlornly into the black waters beneath her. So we took you south. We took you to one of the areas we knew Bavol's scouts looked for, took in abandoned Fae. left you. I thought about that every day until I passed. I'd hoped that you'd found your own way, forged your own path. But it puts my spirit at ease, seeing you like this, out here, far away from it all, doing what you want. Tell me, are you happy, Korgath?
Someday I will be.
Huh.
I'm happier now than I was.
My son. Sometimes I wish we'd never won the Red War.
And from what I've heard, it's a pretty good thing we did. see
Tell
a
me,
see a snake guy on the boat. Pretty easy. Don't have to worry about him.
oh, we don't get to talk much, us down on the river, but it's alright. When you're down here, you don't particularly long for contact the way you are when you're alive. So, you're with friends?
Sure. They seem all right.
You always did have a way with words. She looks proud of you.
All right. Well, float peacefully, knowing that you'll be remembered a while longer.
Whatever you do, Korgath, don't let them tell you who you are. She moves in to hug you. And when she does, her arms just kind of phase right through you. And she disappears back into the nothingness.
Wave goodbye to my little homie and come out of it.
You are once again left staring across the black water with the floating obake.
Row!
Ral has wandered off and is gone.
Huh? Okay.
But you now have in your mind a strong memory of your mother.
Gonna pull out one of my javelins I have that has a wooden shaft, and I would like to snap it right above the point
Mm-hmm.
and head to the reflecting pool.
Oh boy. We're going right into this, are we? All right.
Well, I mean, you can jump around to something else, but that's one solitary tear out of the eye, red eyes, and I'm just walking to the reflecting pool.
Okay. Before we go straight to that, people back in the village, after the end of the ceremony, you didn't quite catch Korgath and Ral wandering off. So that is Z, Inuko, Smiley, you three. Back at the village, are you doing anything?
I'm not sure actually.
It is nighttime, and you've been informed that there's a whole building for you to stay in.
Are the shops still open?
Yeah, in the sense that a kitsune comes up to serve you when they see you going towards it.
Oh,
They're just like, hey.
Yep.
do we have a spare 500 gold somewhere?
I'm sure.
I mean, do you need a spare 500 gold?
Don't need it, but the fox keys look like they could be useful.
Oh, alright.
I don't know. I don't think I've made a thieves' tools check yet.
uh,
I mean, do
No.
you want 500 gold, mate? I got it.
I really want to start doing them more, and there's tons of them in the dungeon. So
Okay,
Yes.
then I will buy some of those.
straight from the DM's
borrow
mouth.
some money.
Alright. Do you want me to... Do you need money, Smiley?
Hey, could you lend me a bit more, please?
You can just have it, mate.
Right.
The best way to lose a friend is to either borrow money or lend money. So just take it. Tosses
Didn't-
him.
All right. Thank you.
No problem, mate. I still haven't spent half my gold. Trying to get to it, but
So yeah, so I've been real bad about the picking locks thing, but Stone Tower is full of these things, so straight from the
That's
DM's
alright.
mouth.
Not a bad purchase.
it's probably good. I mean, it'll come in handy for sure. You guys hungry? I mean, I ate a lot earlier on, but I'm kind of. You guys have like a restaurant around here, or like any local foods that are maybe not quite common on the mainland? Talking to the general
uh,
shopkeeper.
Deku nods. We have this delicacy here on Kitsune Island. It's called escargot.
Oh, what is that?
See, the snails around here, they tend to absorb a lot of the latent arcane energy, more so than other creatures. Gives them a bit more extra flavor, but you have to eat them raw.
So he just looks more and more terrified.
But Deku is real sure of himself here.
I couldn't do that. I made friends with one of those snails.
Well, yes, but sometimes we have to eat our friends.
I
Saying goes.
I mean, yeah, but I don't think they'd appreciate me eating them. Or maybe they would. I don't actually know how snails work.
Well, a lot of that, is up to subjective. Some of them can talk, but some of them can't. We tend not to eat the ones that can talk.
Oh, well, that makes sense then. The one I met, I mean, so he kind of like lifts up his shoulder where like Alan Jr. is just kind of like crawling up his side. Can you talk, buddy?
There's no vocal response. Just he kind of stops crawling and just looks at you.
Oh, can you understand me?
He just keeps looking at you. Seems like there's no deep understanding, just that he knows you're talking.
Don't worry,
Does
snail
Alan
buddy.
Jr. still have his splinter?
I hope so. Gotta defend yourself, snail buddy.
The better question is he holding it like a sword with one of his eye stalks, or is he just idly chewing on it?
I just like to imagine chewing on it. Yum,
Yeah.
yum, 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 yum.
Yes.
Do pick up the snail and put a little
His acquired pet.
put Junior on shoulder. I mean, I'm gonna put him back. It's a wild animal. Deserves to live out there and let nature run its course. I mean, unless it wants to come with me, and then at that point, well, I guess this will be the sprinkle of the party. Except I'll do better than Laura and actually look after it.
Aw. But fair.
She forgets she has a living animal around her shoulders a lot.
Yeah, it happens.
and then dives down fathoms into the deep, and then it's covered in fire. That 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 thing should be dead, like way dead.
Way dead. I mean, plus she doesn't have it. Anyway, we're getting sidetracked. Yeah, I
We're
don't think I'm
talking
gonna try
Mufasa
that.
levels of dead.
Yeah, I don't think I want to do that because that'd just be unfair to this little fella.
Well, then there is a nighttime snack that we like.
What's the other end of that scale?
The
If
the other end of
Mufasa's one end of the scale,
Simba, I guess, is the other one technically because he's alive.
Simba
live in
sits closer to the middle, whereas the other end of the scale is like Black Knight, Monty Python's Black Knight.
Okay.
He by all right should be dead, but is not dead.
Oh.
So there's a snack we like. It's called miso soup. It's from
Ooh.
seaweed, but good seaweed.
Huh. That I mean, they tell you to not drink seawater, but just
Like-
seaweed isn't seawater.
Well, no, it's from the freshwater here in the lakes. We just put seaweed in it. Actually, it has a really good flavor. It's salty.
I'd like to try that.
Okay. Well, then let me introduce you to some of Deku's home cooking. Whatcha? And he retreats back into the back. You see him just instruments flying, cooking gear just flying around, and
He looks to Inako and Smiley. You two want a bowl of this? My treat.
what is it exactly?
They said it's miso soup.
Oh, yes, I'd love some.
very well.
What are you, Smiley? You up for some seaweed soup? Which isn't actually what miso is. It's more of a soybean fermented product. Probably think of kombu. Kombu is the seaweed typically used in stock.
I am learning so much about Japanese cuisine with this campaign. I knew I did this for a
Sometimes
reason.
Yeah. Good to Google because I'm like,
Yeah, no, I'm
miso
sitting
isn't
here.
seaweed.
I'm literally sitting here looking at miso soup recipes on Google in the middle of a
Yeah,
D&D
it
campaign.
has. Yeah, they'll have it in, but miso isn't the. It's not the seaweed.
Wait,
I don't know.
it's
Maybe
not
it's
the
miso
sea-
seaweed. It's
No, miso has nori in it. Nori is the seaweed. Miso is fermented soybean paste. Comes in red and white.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
But this could be a species of seaweed known as miso, which gets a little bit confusing because it also ends up looking like miso soup.
Now that you're, while you're out there bickering, he
Maybe-
comes up with a big bunch of bowls of miso. He is somehow carrying like 5 bowls, even though he only has 2 arms. All right, who wants some?
Oh, I'll absolutely grab a bowl.
It is so
Iniko takes one.
salty. That's
Mmm.
normally very salty, but this is saltier than it ought to be.
Insight check. Did you use seawater for this?
Go ahead and do an insight.
I mean, or do you want me to roll cook utensils, or I don't know. I want to roll insight.
Yeah, insight's your highest, so we'll go with that.
Actually, cooks utensils. I mean, if I'm adding wisdom to my cooks utensils, then it's even. But let's try this. 19.
This motherfucker totally used seawater for this.
Oh, that is Deku. Just out of curiosity, do you taste your soups?
Well, no, it is rude for the chef to taste their own food. It is up to the
Oh,
guests
see, in
to
the
like
West, it is considered the utmost importance that a chef tests their own food before serving it. I think it was something to do with like nobility getting poisoned, so they'd always have the chef try it first. You should try some though. Here, they will get a spoon and kind of offer Deku some.
Right. He takes a big gulp of it and grimaces. Ugh. It tastes great, doesn't it?
So he kind of like leans down, trying to help you save face, man.
I guess it's a bit salty.
Let's. You know what? Give me a second. You got the recipe book back here or something?
Sure.
All right. I'm gonna try making miso soup.
He pulls it up, and you see the problem immediately. Deku has handwritten all kinds of notes around the recipe, and the culprit is immediately obvious. So the recipe calls for, the bean paste and the stock and the salt, and Deku's handwritten note: just save time and use the seawater, already salty, and a smiley face.
Okay. Give me. You know what? Z will like pick Deku up, put him on the chair that I assume is on the other side of the counter, kind of
Yes.
reversing the situation for a bit. I'll be right back. Give me a couple minutes to see what I can do back here, and I'm gonna basically try and cook miso soup without seawater and maybe make it a bit nicer, more palatable.
Okay.
What do you want me to roll? Wisdom and cook's utensils or dexterity and cook's utensils?
Wisdom and cook's utensils.
All right. All right. Pretty
Yeah.
damn good.
You make some pretty solid miso soup, actually.
I set down 4 bowls of it. One for Iniko, one for Smiley, one for Deku, and one for myself. Alright, I took a little bit of the recipe. I taste tested it whilst cooking. And I think this is kind of the flavor you were going for, because you definitely wanted want that saltiness, because it was nice, but there's I don't know, there's a savoriness to it that I liked. But try it. You let me know. You're the one who drinks this delicacy.
Right. Deku tries some, and he looks immediately overcome at how much better yours is. Wow. That's so much better. Is this what I've been missing on the mainland this whole time?
The mainland? What do you mean?
I guess I just... Well, it's a very insular community here, so... we kind of just taste the same things and see the same things over and over again and get used to them.
I mean, why don't you switch it up then? You got different ingredients. See things for a moment. I'm gonna go. Kind of goes into the back. I'm gonna look for some like chili sauce or paste.
All right, you find a good bit of crushed chilies.
Okay, we'll bring it back. Yeah, like try adding a little bit of this. We'll take a little spoonful and more like a ladleful. Add a bit of the crushed chili, kind of mix it in, and offer it back to Deku.
Okay. He tries it and then kind of coughs. Oh my gosh. Whew.
It's not a whole lot, but it's a little bit of spice to it, so it changes the flavors up.
It adds a whole new texture. Oh my god. I
Yeah.
need to get more recipes from you. You are clearly a master of mainland cooking. He bows to you incessantly.
He kind of looks around. No, I'm from the West, mate. This is my first time ever making this. I just followed the recipe.
What?
And didn't take shortcuts.
Huh. Well.
One cannot take shortcuts with cooking.
Right. Well, clearly you need to stay here and teach all of us much better things about cooking.
So he kind of stares. What do you mean, all of us? Have you all been making this soup like this?
Oh, yes. Somebody learned
Insight check.
Sure.
Insight check this man. 21.
You can tell that he is being earnest in such an insular community, not gaining any influence from the outside, not letting people in from the outside with their ideas to share them, somebody can come up with an idea and it can just stick and stagnate and be done the same way over and over again. You
Z
reckon this is probably what's happened here?
Z is just horrified. Don't you Kitsune live for like hundreds and hundreds of years?
Yes.
Yes, you should be experimenting more. You've got so much time to play around with recipes and throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks. That's a term from the West. It basically means to try and try again until you find something palatable or useful.
This new concept seems to make Deku's eyes furrow a bit. Huh. Experiment, try new things, just go crazy with it?
I mean, you start off small. You do the little changes, and Z kind of points to the chili kind of spice blend. You add little bits at a time and see what you like. Then you try different things. I mean, who knows? You could by this time next year you could come up with 100 different recipes, and only one of them might work. But who cares? You have fun with it.
You seem to be blowing Deku's little mind at this point. He kind of sinks back.
How do you Kitsune live like that? Like the stagnation would, well, it would drive me mad. I always thought you guys were like super into I mean, based on my interactions, just I don't know, trying new things and you know, not being bored.
I mean, yes, when we get sent out on scouting missions, we have to adapt ourselves to survive out on the mainland with the humans, but when we're back here, it's like a family. It's like one big Kitsune family.
Right. And don't you always want to do the best for your family?
Well, of course.
Right. Then how do you get better if you don't try? If you don't try new things? If you don't
Just
think?
never really thought about it. You see that you have blown poor Deku's mind as he kind of stares into the delicious soup you've made. You've given him a lot to think about.
I've added my I've made a little list down the kitchen of my method for making the soup, by the way, in Crescent. And I just kind of ruffle his hair. Start off small. Learn how to do one thing, and then you'll learn how to do many things.
Deku at this point has been knocked into a stupor. Huh.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. He's not like he's been poisoned or something like that, because I was
No.
about to get really worried.
No, he hasn't been poisoned. It's just you seem to have really rocked his worldview on a very fundamental level.
So he kind of looks at Inako and Smiley. Did I do
Heck yeah.
something wrong?
You made good soup?
Kind of just looks.
I like it.
It's quite delicious.
It is quite good.
I was just getting worried.
Well, you have given Deku lots to think about, Deku says, referring to himself in the third person for some reason. It is bedtime, but I'm going to take your words to heart.
Please do.
We are a small family on this island, but perhaps you're right. Perhaps we do need to let some outside influence in if we're...
Well, Z shakes his head. It's not even a matter of that. You just need to try. If you guys go and collect information and bring it back, then you should expand on that information here. If you learn how to do one thing on the mainland and you bring it back here, you should play around with it. If you learn how to make a really delicious soup, you come back here and learn how to make an even better soup. You've got the time.
Huh. All right. Well, I humbly thank you. Deku finishes his soup. He still looks a little bit shell-shocked from having his whole worldview kind of thrown into question here. But he does seem
So he starts a mass
legitimate.
uprising of all the kitsune, just being like, I want to go to the mainland, I want to go to the mainland and eat delicious food. Gideon's just like, what the fuck did these outsiders do?
Kinda?
Oh no.
It's an insular community, like an insular community inside of an insular community. It's like insularception.
Ah, the insulars. We should go to bed. Z looks to Inuko and Smiley. Unless you guys had other stuff you wanted to do.
Nope, that sounds fine to me.
I'll head in shortly.
Alright. Oh, hey Inuko, do you want a stick? Deku makes really good sticks. I can't actually improve on this,
Stick?
by the way. Like Z holds up the stick. This is a really good stick.
It is a pretty perfect stick.
Yes, that is a stick.
Yeah, do you want it? It's a cool stick. It's literally holding out this nicely kind of.
Uriko just kind of stares at him.
He is
You
very
may
earnest.
keep your stick.
Alright, fine. Come on, Smiley, I want to introduce you to some monkey booze.
Oh boy.
I think you'd like it.
All right. Monkey booze.
Smiley about to get hammered.
Oh boy. So, Z and Smiley, you are making your way to the building set up for you.
Yeah.
You find a similar hotel setup to your lodgings at the temple, or the palace. Not quite as extravagant, but better than some of the other places you've slept in your journey.
Hmm.
It's a home.
Hmm.
Inuko, what were you doing?
Checking on things, make sure they're supposed to be before she goes to bed too.
Alright. So you check around. You saw Smiley and Z head to the building made for the party. Not long after, you see Machida heading in as well, looking quite tired. He gives you an awkward but friendly wave as he passes.
She gives him a wave and a smile.
He seems emboldened by that little bit of nice gesture and hurries on inside. Ral, what are you up to?
Ral has wandered off deeper into the forest away from Foxhome and has found himself a nice clearing with a good view of the sky.
Okay. So, Inuko, you saw Smiley go in the home, you saw Z go in the home, you saw Machida go in. The rest of the Kitsune seem to be tottering off to their little homes for the night. But there's something odd. You didn't see Raoul come in, and you didn't see Korgath come in.
She's gonna try to find him.
Okay, who are you tracking first, and do a survival?
Korgath first.
Okay, survival. You see the heavy boots of Korgath treading off towards the reflecting pool.
This is a good time to remind that Ral doesn't wear shoes.
So, you gather from the age of these tracks, Korgath very recently wandered to the reflecting pool.
She's gonna head over that way and see if he's still there.
All right. So we're gonna do this. Inako, roll stealth. Okay. Korgath. You find yourself at the reflecting pool. You see a katana thrust into the ground, old and rusted. A red ribbon wrapped around it. You see a small religious shrine in the distance. You see a reflecting pool, the stone basin at the bottom. You see a couple of stones gathered up in the center of the pool, as though somebody tried to skip rocks across it. You feel the hair on the back of your neck come to a stand. You realize you're not alone. You are joined out here by the fox, by Kiaton. He wanders up into your field of view. Right now, he is sporting 21 tails, all of them moving independently. His eyes crackle a bit as he gazes at you. Roll athletics.
Oh no.
Not you, Mooney, sorry. Korgath. Korgath.
Thankfully it wasn't
This-
Inako.
Korgath, this display of power seems to be just that. A display meant to put you off balance. Korgath, I asked for you hours ago.
I'll show my tails that do.
Your tails.
I
Nice.
will unsheathe my big sword and I'll stab it down next to the samurai sword. And I will go into a rage.
Nice.
And Inuko will see, typically my spirits have been like Nag and things like you've seen. This time you see a large human male, similar size to Korgath, an orcish male, similar size with no face, and a very large bear with arcane runes on him. This looks like Fae in nature. And they are very clear. They're not like wisping around. They're just there and vibrant and ready to roll. And then I'll just say, and here I am.
Roll. Yeah, this is gonna be intimidation. You see Kiaton approaching cautiously. He's still got all of his tails bristling out. His eyes still crackle. There is a palpable tension between you two. You can gather that Kiaton wants something from you. But there's a lot he's holding back. There's a lot he's not telling you. I wanted to speak with you about your task ahead, about what
Go
it
ahead.
means for humanity. Well, are you up for this?
For what?
For fulfilling your role, your destiny?
Who says that's my destiny? You?
Roll. Roll Constitution save.
Ooh. Pretty good at that.
Yeah. You can tell that you can tell that Kiaton's answer to that underneath the surface is yes. Yes, I do say that, Korgath. That's what he's thinking. But he phrases it differently. Like I said, whenever things go awry, why is it Korgath always at the center? You had no qualms picking up your sword when it came to William Kane, did you not?
It was justified.
Justified it was. And because of your actions, the non-humans of a foal can enjoy some equality. Now, you're here. You're in the presence of the ancient Fae, the kinds of creatures man has not seen hardly ever. Not since before the dragons showed up.
We've been doing pretty good. By ourselves. I know about the Red War.
Yes.
Where were you then?
Well, I had my
Couldn't leave the island? Can't leave the island? Is that it?
Well, there are limits to what I am capable of. Roll a strength save. Yeah, you're definitely pushing him off balance. He isn't expecting this level of resistance.
Oh, bring us the eggs. We'll protect them. Well, we've got 2 eggs now. We had 3 when we gave them to Naomi. Y'all did a real good job of that too, didn't you?
What happened to the black egg is not my fault. I mean,
he's Fae, isn't he? Ancient Fae? Jirai? He's Ancient Fae?
he's one of...
Naomi, I'll keep the eggs safe. Well, we've got 2 eggs now.
He's...
Murderous Pirate has the other one, apparently.
What happened with Hellfang and Jiraiya was an unexpected churn, as he would say. I hate using his phrases. You definitely knocked him off balance with that, Korgath, but he collects himself once more. What I am offering humanity is a chance to strike back at those dragons. A chance to finally gain the upper hand. And it will be humanity that wields the power. Roll me a... What's a good one for this? This one's gonna be Insight. The way that he phrases that, it will be humanity that wields the power, kind of feels like it's overcompensating. Kind of feels like he's covering something up.
So what? We wake the Fae up,
Yes.
kill the dragons, and then what? They Fae rule. We trade one for the other.
No, not trading one for another. The Fae are on humanity's side.
All of them?
Yes, all of them. Roll intimidation again. He doesn't know, but he's saying it like he does.
Just like all the dragons are out to get us? Talk to a few.
Well, as we've seen with Lania, dragons are perfectly capable of independent thought, just as are the ancient Fae. I am Gaian's voice, and I speak for Gaian. I know Gaian's will.
And y'all can stop them now where you couldn't stop them before.
No, because of what happened. Because of the Skyfall. It's like I said. The dragons built great cities in the sky for the humans, hovered above them, leached off the ancient Fae, stole their arcane energy. That is where magic comes from. It is exuded by the ancients. It stole from them, and when it crashed down, the burst of power from it was so great it nearly killed all the ancients, but it was not successful. It sent them back to sleep, a powerless sleep, where only avatars like me had limited power to see what was going on the surface of Terria. If you awaken him back up, if you awaken the ancient Fae back up, they will strike the dragons down. And then
What? They gonna go back to sleep?
Kiaton pauses here. Roll. This one's not going to be good for you, but investigation.
Whatever. Awesome investigate.
Detective Gorgas.
I'll take a double-digit roll with a -1.
Pretty decent. There's a distinct pause there, as though Kiaton is searching for a suitable answer. And then it becomes the age of Fae and man. All the arcane power you should wish to solve all the problems of man. Scarcity, logistics, transporting goods from one place to another, harmony, without the threat of the dragons lording over you, telling you what to do.
Humans tell me what to do. Ancient Fae tell me what to do. Dragons will tell me. Why does everybody want to tell me? I'm getting tired of that.
Roll me a dex save again.
Ooh.
You see Kiaton kind of regained some of his footing. His tails bristle now, an angry expression on his face. Yes, right now, I do expect you to do what I tell you to. Right now, I need you to help clear the way to awaken Gaian. It's not just for my sake. It's for all of humanity. Who could be a better ally in the fight against the dragon than those with whom the dragon took their world from? They will want revenge, I promise.
You don't know they will? You just saying they will?
I am only the avatar for Gaian, not any of the other Supreme Ancients. But I know Gaian. even though they sleep, they would want the dragons not to be meddling in the affairs of those on the surface. Do acrobatics, actually.
Hmm.
You're raging, so you have advantage, right?
Only on athletics.
Only on athletics. Okay.
Strength checks. Strength-based check.
So that's a failure. So, the Fae would not want the dragons meddling with the affairs of those on the surface, and so they would surely align with you humans when it comes to striking them down.
And all this, everything that's happened up to here, was supposed to happen.
Yes,
Your air quotes destiny.
that is exactly what it is. It is fate. It is predetermined.
I'll take my great axe out and slam it into the ground on the other side of the samurai.
Your William's axe.
Mine,
Your axe
but it was.
slams into the ground next to the sword that is here. It sits there, the hilt pointed towards the sky, creating a twin of the weapon that sits there currently. Kiaton watches you. He says, "You want to know what that sword is?"
No. Go ahead.
It's the sword of someone who lived hundreds of years ago, after the cities fell to the earth, but before the Red War ravaged the world. He was like you. He said, "Man will choose its own way," and he turned away from the guidance of the ancient Fae. And then what happened? Man split itself into different factions across geographical and racial lines. They drew divisions in the sand and immediately started fighting amongst one another, while behind the scenes, the whole time, the dragons plotted to take charge. And when one finally showed his face, millions of people died. Is this what you want to be, Korgath? Do you want to turn your back on the aid I am offering? Roll athletics this time. This is posturing. You can tell at an immediate glance that there is a part of Kiaton that is terrified of you.
Oh, God. You'll see. I'll take off my shoulder guard. Just bracers, pants, boot. I'll hold up the broken piece of javelin. Pointy end. So destiny's predetermined then, huh?
That's right. You will be.
Bet it saw me doing this.
Did you just gut yourself?
Right in the chest.
Holy shit.
I can
Oh!
posture.
Okay. You open your chest up. Blood spills forth. This is a critical wound. You drop to 0 HP.
I'll drop to 1. But eventually, I mean, I'm half orking it, but yeah, I'll be at 1.
Yeah.
But I'll go ahead and act like I'm not at 1.
Yeah, you half orc it, so the critical wound that you inflict upon yourself, your tenacity as a half orc leaves you conscious on the ground. You are still conscious, you are still with clarity. Kiaton immediately runs up. All of that posturing, all of that crackling of his eyes, his tails diminish back down to one single tail as he runs up to your side. No! No! You can't do this!
We can do whatever we want. Well, I'm trying to make a...
Well, you've made... Damn it! You see his paws kind of finagling around your wound. Roll me athletics again. In this instance of Kiaton rubbing his paws on your wound, you don't see a powerful Fey demigod anymore. You see the face of an old, worried, tired man with everything to lose, trying desperately to hold the pieces of you back together. What are you doing? Do you expect me to have some kind of magic to fix this?
I'd like to cast a spell.
Alright, what would you do, Iniko?
Iniko's gonna cast Animal Messenger
Alright.
and send whatever near small creature there is back to town to get a heal.
So a linnet bird receives your message and zooms back to the town post-haste. So linnet flapping off back to the town. Kiaton looks around, looks at you, Korgath, and places his paws on your chest, and you feel him channeling some arcane power to mend a bit of your wound, giving you 1 hit point back, as he manages to stimmy the bleeding enough that you aren't just like in outright danger of dying right here on the spot. No. Korgath, you're supposed to be the paladin of the ancient Fae. You're supposed to champion our cause. This isn't supposed to happen.
I fight for human. I don't fight for dragons. I'm not your chosen. I'm not their chosen. I'm me. I guess I'm still technically raging.
Yeah, you're still raging. You never went down.
And I will stand the fuck up.
Yeah. You see, Iniko, you see Korgath, despite his grievous wound in his chest, come to a stand. His entire front bloodied. Kiaton steps back. Roll intimidation at advantage, Korgath. You see it all the more clearly now, Korgath. Fear in Kiaton's eyes. Like something happened that he was terrified of happening has come to pass. He starts almost whispering to himself, No, no. This is all wrong. This is all wrong. This isn't how it's supposed to go. It's not just humans who have a stake in this. It's the ancient Fae. We were here first. We were on Terria first. Then the humans came to be. You crawled out of the oceans. You learned to walk. You learned to use tools. You learned to talk. We were here the whole time, guiding you. Until they showed up. Until they threw everything into disarray. They stole you away from us. Took you to their precious cities in the sky. And then what did they do? They misled you. They brainwashed you. And then
Enough!
he stops.
So, you're a jealous child that got their toy taken away. And now you want it back. We're done. We'll fight the dragons. We'll kill the dragons, with or without your help. But humanity's nobody else's pawn. Ever again. And I'm done. I'm walking away.
Korgath.
I mean, I'm gonna pick up my swords and my axe, my stuff back on.
You should totally leave your axe there.
Alright, he can keep the axe.
Because it's so cool.
I might come back and get it later.
You hear Keaton's voice ringing after you as you walk away. And now the sword and the axe stand next to each other, next to the reflecting pool. The visage of Keaton shrinking in the distance as you return to Foxhome. And I think, guys, that is where we're gonna call it for the night.
A few more. I'm here. Hootie Teelan.
Keaton just like, get me with it, just brings out the sake he gave him, just fucking chugs the whole thing. Fucking humans.
Yeah.
Alright,
Well then. Meanwhile, back at the end, Smiley are just like, Smiley, I can't believe we found the secrets to the universe. We have to share this with someone.
What?
I don't know.
Hey guys.
I also wanted us to have big plot stuff, so that we gotta go find the secrets of reality.
I'm going to bed now. See you later. Good night.
Bye. Korgath, what the fuck happened to you, man? That's a lot of. Who did this to you? I will kill them.
Good night.
No. What? No, Korgath, you're bleeding. Smiley, don't just go to bed.
He's probably fine.
For the first time in a long time, Korgath goes to sleep with a smile on his face and happy.
As Korgath is like bleeding out, he's just like, "Come on, man, live! Don't die! Don't give up on me, man!"
All right. Well then.
That's oh boy.
Yeah.
That is certainly one way to make your point.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, you can't claim you've got what that was in a movie or something.
We can't claim that you've got good
Talking
intentions.
about its destiny. It was The Devil's Advocate. Keanu Reeves.
Oh, I was gonna say Illidan Stormray.
Well, it's Illidan as
my destiny is my
own. But no, like Keanu Reeves does that at the end too. He shoots himself instead.
Yeah.
Like free will.
Yeah.
Oh, Looper.
Well, that too. I haven't seen that, but I want to.
Yeah, that's a different one. That's
No.
Bruce Willis.
That's Bruce Willis. No, Keanu Reeves is the lawyer in Devil's Advocate, who's like the spawn of the Satan, and he has free will at the end and shoots himself instead of doing what Satan wants him to.
Damn.
I didn't even actually think of that until just now. I was like, damn, that was fucking Devil Advocate there. Sorry, Al Capone.
Well,
wow.
Shit.
Well, we might not be doing Stone Towers after all. We might not be doing that dungeon.
I'm still gonna fight the dragons. I'm just not doing it for them.
I'll have to think about that. Yeah, we might do. We will probably do Stone Towers still.
I mean, I hope so. I assume you've set up a whole goddamn tower for us
Sorry.
that you were maybe hoping to start today.
All I've ever
I
read
was-
about on Reddit is bad stuff about Tower Dungeon, so I was like, nope.
No, man, we gotta do tower dungeons. Tower dungeons are excellent. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I
Look,
mean,
I
like,
wanted to legitimately take like a month in there. Like, I wanna spend 4 sessions in that tower.
So yeah, so I have this whole tower dungeon here, but I am really debating on whether I want to do it or not at all.
I mean, we can still do it. Like, we, as
It-
far as I'm
it's
aware,
it's
we're still
more
signed
along
up
the
to do it.
lines of we've unlocked a different ending to the Stone Tower Dungeon, where we don't fully release Gaian, we just wake him up.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. So the way things are going, we probably will do Stone Tower Dungeon. But the ending of Stone Tower Dungeon is probably going to be a bit shifted over.
Look, I've already decided how I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna reach in and I'm just gonna absorb Gaian because that's clearly what I'm meant to do, and usher in a new age of neither man nor dragon or fae.
This is
It's
fine.
the fourth. It's the fourth ending that the secret ending.
the patched in ending when there was upcry from the community.
No, it's
What
like in
color-
Silent Hill, the alien ending.
Yeah, the
Exactly.
alien.
That's Z. Z, what are you doing? I'm just gonna hold on, and just Z on just jarring. It's this primal fae, greater fae, just absorbs their power.
I cast Disintegrate. No. This is the
I
worst timeline.
Do you do that on yourself?
So
Cast
I mean, I'm
disintegrate
casting
on Corey.
twice. One at you, one at me. You don't die, I die.
Like, well, good game, everyone. Just grabs
so
falls down.
from my perspective, Stone Towers now is more about gleaning information about what happened with the Sky Cities and the dragons.
I mean,
And,
I assume that was gonna happen. Like, I thought that was the whole point.
Yeah, that is the point now, is gleaning information about the Sky Cities and the dragons and what happened with humanity. So we probably will still do Stone Towers as a dungeon. We got another class change coming up. So yeah, but I think we're going to probably see some of the fallout of tonight. Not immediately, but as time comes.
Nobody puts Korgath in.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm just at this point. I think so many of the Kitsune are just gonna love Z. It's gonna be like, I don't want to hurt Z. Yeah, I don't want to do anything to him. He helped improve my recipes. He invented the katsudon. The little snail like walls up. He showed kindness to me while I was trapped in this pitiful form.
Yeah.
Ancient face Snailigamu. That is I.
Oh
Freed
god.
at last from the kindness of this one Oni.
The fucking contrast there is beautiful.
I really wish I could learn Awaken Animal, because I totally will cast it on that snail.
I mean, the snail's back in the woods now. I said my goodbyes. I promised them that I'd let them go again.
I had a line that I didn't use, and I was gonna be like, "All dogs are the same. They all lick their asses," because all that's coming out of your mouth right now is a bunch of bullshit.
Oh shit.
Ooh.
And I never used it.
Oh, my
Damn.
goodness.
I'm kind of sad that I went back to the inn though, because I'm like, oh, I missed a lot. Oh.
I mean, I'm gonna come back to go to bed. I'm
Yeah.
just
Well, still hasn't showed up yet.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
just a javelin hole in my chest. I left it there.
So
You left the javelin in?
No, I put it in, pulled it out, and dropped it on the ground. It's on the ground out
Alright.
there by the sword and the axe. Man, I just
So-
got that axe modded too. Damn it!
That would make a nice scene card.
that would. Damn.
Well,
But now I really want like that the fucking katana there and the axe just sitting side by side. Like that is such a cool visual. That's why I wanted you to leave the
Casu-
axe there.
That's kind
Casually
of what my
clears
great
the edge of the
great granddaddy
That's what
did
I'm
too.
saying. The rusted katana, the axe, and then the bloodied javelin
Yes.
So let's
with the
let's see.
reflecting pool in the background.
We got everyone. So we got update everyone's headshots. That end card screen. What else we got?
I might have set up some stream time with Z to get some campaign art done.
Yes.
We
So
Nice.
Make sure
we
make sure you
learned
guys.
Gorgath's real name tonight.
we did.
Yeah, and make sure you ping us when you're going to be streaming that, because I want to watch.
Oh yes.
Sure thing.
Eric, it means king forever
It does.
in Norse.
Aww.
Yeah. So I mean,
I just got tired of being everybody's bitch.
I mean that makes sense.
Get 'em.
It's the perfect arc for Korgath. It really is. So I'm really
Motherfucker wasn't gonna
like
listen to nothing else. I'll make him listen.
a huge part of me is happy that things went down the way they did. And my initial plan was to start the Stone Towers tonight, but you know what? We didn't. But it's D&D, and that's what happens in D&D.
Mm-hmm.
So cool. This is really cool. So thank you guys for playing with me again. This was an awesome session.
Thanks for running this campaign, man. This is fucking amazing.
Ugh. And now I will sink back into the shadows for about three sessions.
Korgath been like wakes, snaps his eyes open. Oh shit! I just ate all the narrative importance.
No. Korgath had his narrative arc, and now his VA goes on vacation for a few weeks.
He's like, well, I'm out. See ya. Korgath, where you going? I'm going to be around and just have to take a narrative backdrop because otherwise I'm just gonna
be thinking
swallow
on
you all up.
think about what I did and make sure it was the right thing to do.